Welcome to Fever Dream Diaries, a podcast where we take you back to the early aughts to revisit our high school experience, but also what the hell was going on in the world. This is episode 2. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Becca, and I'm here with my BFF, Hayley.
The saga continues here, Becca, and I feel like it's not appropriate to talk about our freshman year in high school without really highlighting the biggest event that happened to us.
Of our lives.
Of our lives, not even just of high school, and that was the freshman year election.
The quad threat, baby.
The quad threat, which we will dive into, was out and ready and really just thirsty for blood.
We were out of control. The first feminist girl gang of the millennium.
Let's just put that out there. So me and Becca became so close so fast in high school that our freshman year, we decided that us, along with 2 other young ladies, were all going to run for freshman class roles. So, you know, like president, vice president, treasurer, secretary. You and I remained friends.
Yep.
The other 2 gals who shared the same name, but we're not going to say it.
We can just call them Jane Doe.
Yeah, the 2 Jane Does. I don't know where they're at.
1 and Jane Doe 2.
But you know what? That election brought Becca and I closer than ever. And I have no regrets.
I'm so glad that I'm holding a original copy of our freshman year poster.
These items belong in a museum. Like Becca said, she literally has not even 1 copy. I have my own copy that she made for me. Multiple copies of the poster that we created for this election that we posted all around the school. We should post this on our social media so that people can see it. But I guess we'll blur out the Jane Does, whatever. We're the stars of the poster, so it doesn't matter. It says it's going down on it like young jock. We were straight up ready to go.
Was 2006 an election year? No, it would have been.
It was for us.
Yeah, clearly. I'm just thinking because I wrote Rock the Vote, and I feel like that was like a vibe from 2004. Like,
literally, Diddy could sue you right now for that,
no.
I feel.
Also,
yeah, you did write that.
I feel like we need to break down this poster.
Absolutely. Okay. So first of all, just to set the scene, I, as expected, was the one running for president because naturally I'm always trying to be the main character. So I was in that role. The Jane Does were vice and treasurer, and you were Madame Secretary.
I had won secretary in 4th grade.
So that's why you felt like that should be your role. Like you had it in the bag probably since that.
Yeah, and when I told my sister that we were like reminding ourselves about the election, she asked me if I remembered my slogan in 4th grade, which was, "Don't be a coward, vote for Howard."
That's actually really cute.
It's so good.
It's good. And you had elections in the 4th grade? That's really intense.
And I had a real role. Like I was responsible for all of the organization, the note taking for the school, not the school, the class.
So that's what the secretary does.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what a secretary does. Do you remember that Too Legit to Quit was like our anthem?
That was our theme song for the... Yes.
And you have like Too Legit to Quit hand signals in this poster. You're doing peace signs in every single thing.
And that is very 2006. And I'm still too legit to quit.
You really are.
So no regrets there. But I will say this year, the reunion is going to be at a country club. And I just feel like if you and I were planning it, it would, it'd be ratchet. It'd be more on that side of things.
Can I dare say it would be in your dad's garage?
It'd be in my dad's garage because that's where all the fun parties were. I was going to say either that or the Amber Room, but I don't think the Amber Room still exists.
I mean, luckily, Lita Lane still does have Kegler's Den.
Okay, we're going to get into all that because we need to talk about my dad's garage parties. We need to talk about how much time we spent at Lita Lane's. Definitely. It was unhealthy. It was unruly. But first, let's really dissect this election because I think this was a turning point for all of us involved. The quad threat, if you will. So that was what we called the 4 of us because we were obviously so threatening. We must have gotten made fun of so much behind our backs.
I know. I look back at this poster.
It's actually crazy how much people must have made fun of us behind our backs.
I am like doing the duck lips in every photo.
But I guess in our defense, yes, there's a lot of peace signs, a lot of duck lips going on, but that was the vibe then.
It was.
It's not like we were uncool. My scrunched hair, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but toot. I had the best scrunched hair in the whole high school.
Effortless. It's not the crunch. It was like soft curls.
Exactly.
You did so well.
So like come at me. Can you scrunch your hair better than me? No. Then you can't battle with me. That was my vibe in high school. So I think, as embarrassing as this is to look back at, whatever. I really commend our confidence. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's a moment in time that we now have this archival document of, and I'm proud of us for, trying. We put ourselves out there.
Exactly.
Can I just ask you, in the copy that you have, is there like weird drawings on our faces and stuff?
There is.
I think that was probably my sister like graffitiing my work.
I was going to overlook that, but I just assumed it was part of our situation at the time. But yeah, there is a lot of devil ears and mustache situations happening.
I mean, this is a little bit of a tangent, but part of the reason I wanted to find the yearbooks from like middle school and high school is, do you remember we used to draw all over them?
We did. Why did we do that?
Horrible.
We did ruin them, and it was mean.
Ruin them.
It wasn't kind things we were writing. I hate to say.
Yeah, once I didn't find those, I wasn't too upset.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. Those should not be unearthed. But the election, I think it was pivotal in our friendship, and it was what it was. I'm glad you have the poster. A lot of notes that I've seen reference the election, but what I really think we should unearth for everybody is our speeches.
Yep, I agree.
So
I've got them right here, girl.
I can't believe, I feel like I'm in a time machine because this speech is something that I never thought I'd see again. I've spent years of therapy trying to actually black out the trauma that this situation brought to us. But you know what? We're here. We're having fun with it. And the reunion's coming. Should we read these not only here, but at the reunion?
Definitely. Or maybe this podcast will be live by then, and we can just blast it out into the audience.
There we go. Yeah,
have an autograph signing table.
Give the people what they really want.
Right? And like, if you weren't lucky enough to get my yearbook signature the 1 year I was at North, well, come now, because this is your last chance.
This is it, hags. I will write hags for you, and that's it.
Yes.
Walk away. All right, dude.
I love it.
Do you want to read your secretary speech first?
Oh my God, yes.
I'm sweating. Okay, Becca.
All right. So I have my speech here. There is some like handwritten notes, but I printed it like originally. So I'm just going to read it off as it is.
And to paint a picture, to really set the scene, we're reading these on stage in an auditorium in front of probably, we went to a big school.
Yes.
So I would say 300 to 400 kids were in the audience.
Definitely.
Like that was the freshman class size.
Realistically,
so
yes.
It was a pretty big audience we were reading this to, and I just feel like I want people to know that we read this in front of that many people.
I'm like standing up right now. I'm like stretching. I need to like get back into the moment where I read this to my peers.
Okay.
I was fully dissociating.
Yeah.
Had already learned how to do that long before this moment.
Way before this.
I'm going to give you guys a good college try at this.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Becca Howard, and I'm running for freshman class secretary. I know that most of you out there aren't very interested in why I'm running, but here are a few reasons why it'd definitely be a good idea to vote for me. 1, I'm incredibly organized. It's practically OCD.
Oh, shit.
2, you want a secretary who can get things done. I'm an unbelievable multitasker. I can do like 5 things at once, or more if I have to. True. 3, I'm part of the quad threat, and we're basically amazing. So vote for me, Becca Howard. It just makes sense. Oh, and if you're cool, you'll vote for the rest of the quad threat too. Smith Rose for president, Jane Doe for vice president, and Jane Doe for treasurer. Thanks. And then there's one other line that I like added in at the end, and I'm like, I guess I crossed out the it's practically OCD, and I wrote in, I'll keep track of important stuff, and I won't lose anything. I promise.
I promise. The OCD line was a little scandalous.
Right?
So
how did I know what OCD was?
how did you know you had it?
How did I know? I mean, I did.
You were so intuitive.
I really was. I feel like this really like set the scene for my future.
Oh my gosh, Becca. I think the beautiful thing that really came of this is how clear our camaraderie was. We were going hard for the quad threat. And
Absolutely.
we didn't care how we looked because of it. We just really thought that was it. And you honestly are a good multitasker.
Thank you.
My favorite line is I can do like 5 things at once or more if I have to.
True. It's so true. If you've ever worked as a bartender, if you've ever worked in customer service, you know.
Yeah.
You've got to do 7 things at once.
But it's just funny because you hadn't done those things yet.
I had never even had a job.
You were just setting yourself up for success, not for failure.
I also, like, weirdly had OCD. Like, that's sad. I mean, I don't anymore, but, like, as a kid, I definitely showed OCD symptoms. So, like, I was just very self-aware, I guess.
You were.
I had never gone to a psychiatrist, so I don't know how I knew that phrase, but...
It's like we were self-aware in some ways, but so unself-aware in others.
I know, the fact that I got up on the stage and just, like, said this with the earnestness. Yes, the confidence and the earnestness. Like, I know most of you aren't that interested in why I'm running. It's like, true. That is true.
Yeah.
And it's fair that I thought that. But also might be why I didn't win. Just saying.
Could be.
I feel like you need to really be like, we all care why I'm running. We all care why I'm here.
Yeah, I'm important.
But I feel like you kind of took that route with your speech.
Man.
Reading it back.
You know what? As I would hope that I would. I need to stand too.
Yes, let's do it. All right.
Because that does feel right. I didn't remember any of this until you found it. And just looking at it, it's so weird. All of these notes. Because obviously we know we wrote it, but it was such a different lifetime ago that it's like, I wrote this? I'm crazy, but I love myself.
Yes.
All right.
Seriously, the same energy as back then.
Wow.
I love it.
Good for us. Okay. Here goes nothing. I am just putting myself in that moment again. Hi, my name is Hayley Smith Rose, and I want to be your freshman class president. Here are some pretty hardcore reasons why you should vote for me. Hardcore. That was kind of like a trending word then. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 1. I'm a social person. I love people, and that's pretty legit. Number 2, I'm a ridiculously amazing multitasker, and I know how to get things done. I was totally trying to copy you on that one, I feel.
No, it's important for a president to multitask. Let's think about that.
We're just all multitasking. Okay, and number 3, I'm part of the quad threat family, which is reason enough to vote for me. Why?
That is so loyal of you to all of us.
You know what? If there's one thing I am, it's a loyal bitch. I will say that, and that has remained. Okay, last but not least, if I can promise you anything as president, I promise to listen to every student's views. I'll also push for more school dances and more student activities. I'm also open to any suggestions you have. That paragraph is sweet and it's wholesome, and we're living for it. So remember to vote Jane Doe for vice president, Jane Doe for treasurer, Howard for secretary, and me, Hayley Smith Rose, for president. Thank you. Thank you.
Just imagine the claps of hundreds of students.
Yeah.
Cheering, applause.
Although,
everything.
I don't know that actually happened for me. Yeah, balloons falling from the ceiling.
Literally MC Hammer running out on stage with Too Legit to Quit playing. Like, it is a crazy night.
Absolutely.
It was at night. No, I'm just kidding. It was
definitely like 1 p.m. or something.
Do you remember it? Do you remember like that day?
I do. I do. I was so nervous, but not. I guess maybe that's why I am in the job I am in now, because like I thrive off just being weird in front of a bunch of people, and I think that was how I felt. Like I was nervous, but I was like, no, I got this. I was way too confident.
You weren't though. You were perfect amount of confident. I mean,
thank you.
It was amazing.
You know what? I have no regrets about the delivery of the speech. I do remember it, and I remember that auditorium. Maybe just because I've had so many experiences in that auditorium. Remember when I got hypnotized in that auditorium?
That freaking, oh my gosh.
I violated. Not actually. I shouldn't say that because that's serious.
No,
but it was a weird experience.
Oh my gosh.
It was not an okay experience.
You had to like go out in the audience, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and like I didn't do the kissing thing, but someone had to like kiss somebody else, and I was like, ew,
I do remember that.
Can't be right.
I remember those people and them kissing in front of everyone.
I'm gonna bring that up at the reunion.
Who was the weird hypnotist who did that?
Who was that man? Let's find him.
I mean, I don't want to accuse him of anything, but going to a group of teenagers and telling them to do weird things under their subconscious is a little uncomfortable.
It was an odd activity for a high school. I feel. Like, they also did that in my college, and it just felt more appropriate in college.
Yeah.
We're out here under 18, and you're just, like, hypnotizing us. I don't know about that, but, you know, whatever.
I was, like, in the audience watching you, and I remember wanting to, like, break the spell, but you were in it. You were there. You were ready, so.
It's weird. Yeah, it worked.
It worked.
It worked on me.
Did we read the speeches for Quad Threat in the auditorium or the cafeteria? Or
it was
gym?
the auditorium.
Oh my gosh.
Per my memory, it was the auditorium. So that's the same one, you know, the hypnotist was at. Footloose was performed, my senior class play.
Yep.
You know, a lot of nice moments. Arguably, I'd say this was a nice moment. Just the hypnotist was weird.
Yeah, no, and did we make shirts, if I remember right?
I'm sure we did, because we used to make shirts for everything.
Justin Timberlake concert, need a shirt. Cheetah Girls, need a shirt. Last Day of Summer, need a shirt. We would make like glitter paint shirts.
Yeah, what was it called? Puffy paint? Yes. Is that what you called it?
We would go to AC Moore, right near your house, find like whatever color shirt we needed for that event.
Just a gilded plain ass shirt, and we would paint all over it and usually get too excited and smudge it before it fully dried. And we'd be wearing them to concerts and events, and of course the election.
Of course.
I'm sure we had t-shirts.
I think I saw in a note here that we did, so that just explains so much.
That sounds like.
I wonder if I could find the shirt.
Dude, if you had the shirt, I'd be shook. I'd be shook if you found that, because that's a whole artifact.
We'll see.
We did the speeches, probably same day. Later the day was the vote, and I feel like it was pretty quickly moving after that. We found out we did not win. We didn't win at all. As if that wasn't abundantly clear by our personalities. We did not win.
We both had the confidence of mediocre white men just to be able to completely rule the school.
And you know who won? A bunch of mediocre.
Literally all men.
Oh my God. We say men, they're literally like 13-year-old boys.
Like men.
They're taller. Men now. Yeah, they did look like men. What the hell? What was in the water in Nashua?
Something, because there is a lot going on from that city. Oh my goodness.
There was a lot going on. And if you won freshman year in 2006, Nashua High School North, you know who you are. Why were you looking like a man?
Oh my God. Are we really? Like, we're calling them out.
I'm not going to say their names, but they know who they are.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't remember half their names.
Nemesis.
Our arch nemesis. Thank God I didn't win, because I would still be the president.
You would still be in Nashua planning the reunion, and like you would have spent the last 12 years planning the reunion.
That's actually real talk. Is thank God we don't have to be the ones planning this reunion. In retrospect, like if we had won this, I guess we would have had to win senior year as well, but we would have to be in charge of the reunion. It'd be a different affair.
I can see there being like a secondary, life path that could have gone down where I won the secretary, convinced my parents that it was not okay for them to pull me out of Nashua, and I needed to stay because I had a job to do.
You had a role.
I had a role in the school.
Right.
So I kind of regret not winning, because I might not have been dragged to a different high school.
Oh, that's sad. No regrets.
I have a note here that I think is October 6th, so the next day.
Oh, yes. And we know the day because it is on the poster. October 5th, 2006. It was a Thursday.
This was a note you wrote to me the day after. It's pretty wholesome.
Would you like to read it?
Want me to read it to you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is Hayley, October 6th. Really just recapping what happened. So, Oprah, oh my God, we lost. At least we lost together. I thought I'd be more sad than I actually am. What makes me feel worse is people going, I'm so sorry. Oh, well, there's always next time. Quad threat for life.
Oh.
What we didn't know was there wouldn't be a next time.
It was not for life. It was not for life at all. We stopped being friends with those girls pretty soon after.
I know, right? I am so pumped for Saturday. Jane said, oh, I don't know if we want to read. I actually kind of...
You can read it.
Okay, well, we have to... Okay.
We'll unpack, but you can read it.
I am so pumped for Saturday. It's going to be amazing. I feel like such an idiot for saying no to Corey. Jane said he was wicked sad about it after school today. I might change my mind, but I don't know. So don't say anything to anyone. We'll see what happens after my party. OMFG. Buhosa put distracts other students and shows a lack of respect on my progress report. What a bitch.
She was a bitch.
Everyone was commenting on my I Love Oprah shirt. It was awesome. Love Dr. Phil.
Why did we call ourselves Oprah and Dr. Phil? Was it just because of our love and admiration for those two?
I think so, and we still do.
And I can't even tell you, like, I love Dr. Phil so much to this day.
I've literally been on his show.
I know, that sounds like way cooler than it was. I was in his virtual audience though, and that was so fun and cool, and I love Dr. Phil. But anywho's.
So remind me who Buhosa was.
Oh my gosh. She was our Spanish teacher, and she was the devil. Senora Buhosa had it out for me.
Oh, and she hated you.
We didn't vibe. Why do I remember so much about this woman? I do feel a little bad talking about her because I'm pretty sure if my memory serves me right, she had a bit of a mental break.
Yeah, she did.
And had to leave. So I do hope she's doing well now, but at the time... Let's unpack the Corey situation. First of all, that's a name change. I would never date a Corey. Let's make that abundantly clear. Of all this, I would never date a Corey, and I did not even then. So that's a name change. And
Corey.
There was just a situationship I had with a young man.
That's a good way to explain it.
I don't know any other way to say it. We never dated, but we liked each other.
He and I were on the same bus, so that was my connection to him, and I think you and I became closer because I would get intel.
Yeah.
How he was feeling. He would tell me every day on the bus. Like, hey, like, how's Hayley? Like, he would ask about you. And I had to deal with the heartbreak when you dumped him.
God bless. And
I didn't
even dump him, though. That's the thing. Like, this was like, I'm 14, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing in life. We never dated. I was not ready to date anyone.
No, me neither.
I didn't even know, where to go with that. So I think that was really the issue. It was not even personal. I felt like an idiot for saying no to him. He asked me to be his girlfriend. I think that's what I'm referring to at this time.
I think you're right.
I was not ready to be a girlfriend to anyone. I'm 14. Like, I don't know anything about anything.
Well, he was also the new kid, so
he was.
We didn't really know much about him. It was a lot of mystery, a lot of unearthing his past, getting to know him and his friends.
And if he had asked me to be his girlfriend in October, like, I couldn't have even known him for more than a month, right?
I mean, we were basically dating, so how were you going to have another relationship on top of that?
I put all my love and energy into Becca. Like,
literally.
What?
Once we lost the election, I feel like you and I were just like, well, we're two ships alone on this world, so we got to stick together.
Exactly. And that's why we're here together today.
We have not left each other's side.
Oh my gosh.
So this was a moment in time for us. Like, after the election, I think we had a lot of plans for how our life was going to go as the leaders of the school. And then when we didn't achieve our dream, it felt pretty damaging.
It did. But I will say this note from the next day, I picked up the pieces faster than I would have expected myself to.
Yes.
Like, I didn't seem that bothered by it, unless I maybe wasn't just trying to show how bothered I was in a note.
You were a very resilient person, and that continues to this day. I can't say just then.
If there's one thing about me, I'll take that.
Resilience. Yeah. And I think with our friends that, maybe they also had their own struggle losing, and it tore us apart in a way.
Yeah.
But not overnight. It wasn't like the next day we didn't talk to them.
Right. So between the two Janes, we'll call them, one of them we did remain friends with for quite a bit. The other one just kind of fell off. I don't think there was a falling out. Right. I think there's just, how it goes, right?
Yeah.
But I think that it's important to dissect more of the number. We'll call her Jane number one because she's number one in our heart and number one in our soul.
Aww.
And we talked about her a bit in the last episode. She is who we were referencing in terms of that breakup. That I am a disaster. So she'll be a recurring character. And with that being said, God, I hope she goes to the reunion.
How are we going to force her to go? We need her to be there.
I like the word force because that's where I'm at, and I think we should. She lives close enough to the area, so I would think she would go.
I will get her a limo.
I was going to say I'd pick her up, but you want to get this girl a limo?
I mean, there are several people I want to just order limos to their house.
Just to ensure that they'll be there.
Like, how do we know if Corey's going?
Okay, you know what? Let's unpack him just a little bit further. Corey, I hate calling him that because but sorry to all the Coreys out there. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend any Coreys, but just not for me. I have spoken to him since high school. He's someone who I've kept in moderate touch with, if you will. This year, he messaged me and told me he was going to be in Portland, and mind you, he doesn't live nearby, so it was a big deal. He was coming to visit, and he ghosted me when it came time to come to town. We were gonna meet up and everything. In this year, 2022, I was gonna be able to ask him all the hard-hitting questions because I actually haven't seen him since high school, even though I would say on social media we've kept up and whatnot. But I was ghosted, and now I just even more so need him to be at the reunion so I can follow up on that as well.
Yeah, well, he needs to prove to you that he's not just avoiding you. I mean, come on.
What's crazy is he messaged me and was like, I'm going to be in town. You want to meet up? And I was like, yes, when, where, nothing. Absolute ghost.
I'm a little offended he hasn't reached out to me because he's been back in New Hampshire. Come on.
I don't know. I believe his family moved to Maine, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not to really just put all his business out there, but I think his family's in Maine now, which is where I live, and I think he visits sometimes, but never have I seen him. Never have I seen Corey. Corey's been out of the house for the past 12 years. Oh
my God, that's so great.
So he is someone I'd love to chat with at the reunion for sure. And I think there's just many people we can ask. Maybe, why didn't you vote for us?
That is such a savage question.
When are we going to see these people again? At 40 years old?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask now because I might not make it to 40.
Bring this poster.
Yeah. Let's make copies and put them up around the reunion.
Yes. And I'm getting a quad threat tattoo on my arm.
Yo.
And it's going to say just your full name.
It's just our speeches. We get each other's speeches tattooed on. You know what? I'm actually not against a quad threat tattoo.
I'm not either.
Even though I don't remember it as vividly now, judging by the speeches, we were very dedicated to it.
We really were. I mean, the amount of loyalty and just passion that you can hear, especially in your speech. Mine was I'm clearly lacking the confidence that you had.
Stop. No, I think there was just a little trauma in yours, Becca.
I'm hey, I know you don't care. I know you don't care.
I know I have OCD, but can you just vote for me?
It's fine. Just friggin' vote.
I can multitask. 5 things or more if need be.
And I'm if you're cool, you'll vote for my friends, but they're not as important. Just me.
Yeah. None of us are even that cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was a time.
It was a time. And again, I'd relive it over and over again because the laughs that it's giving me at 30, it's enriching my life. There's a note that you pulled up here. I will just read a few sentences because the others are just not important. Boy. But this must have been right before the election because I said, oh yes, tomorrow the quad threat is going to own. Oh, and party this weekend. Whoop, whoop. P.S. Meet us in the school. It's going down. We were really going through a young jock phase at the time. That song was very popular at that time. And that leads us into a perfect area of time, which was the garage parties at my dad's. Those were unlike any party you've ever been to. If you're listening and you think you've ever been to a rager like this, I'm sorry, come again. Because
so true. Completely sober,
completely good, clean fun.
Absolutely.
But I think that there's so much to talk about in terms of the parties we had.
Let's do it. Yes.
Quad threat for life?
Quad threat for life.
If you like what you hear, make sure you follow us on all social media. Becca, tell them where they can find us.
Our Instagram handle is Fever Dream Diaries. Our TikTok is Fever Dream Diaries Pod. And if you want to email us, you can always send us a message at feverdreamdiaries@gmail.com.
Send us all your deepest, darkest secrets. We would love to read them. We would love to connect with you on that spiritual level. And also on our social media, we're going to be posting posting all sorts of content relating to the episodes. See old embarrassing photos of us. See relics from the past that will bring you back to a simpler time, right?
A time before TikTok, a time before Instagram.
Exactly.
When MySpace ruled the world.
Oh my God, a time we all yearn for. So be sure to follow us. And if you really like what you hear, leave us a freaking review somewhere, would ya?
Hell yeah. And maybe a comment, maybe like.
Yeah, if you think that someone else in this world would like this podcast, you show us some love so it can get spread to them. Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you're listening to podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. We won't be able to sleep well tonight otherwise.
Please.
We need this.